Hello gamers, welcome back to another electrifying episode of Spelltap Gaming. I'm your host, Ryan Goto. Ready to guide you through the latest happenings and hot takes in the gaming world. Today is May 24th, 2023, and you're tuning into episode 4 of our gaming journey. Joining us today's episode is Christopher J. Gannon.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, absolutely, man. Welcome back, as always. And today we've got some major news about Overwatch 2 that's causing a stir. They've canceled the PvE mode. We'll unpack what this means for the game and its community, and we'll share our thoughts on the surprising turn of events. And then we'll take a deep dive into the world of Hyrule with a discussion about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Did this highly anticipated game change our minds? Stick around to find out. And don't forget, we're also on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for additional gaming content. Also, we love hearing from you. Tell us what you'd like us to discuss on the show. Seriously, let us know what you guys want to talk about on the show. We'd love to integrate, suggestions and games you guys want to talk about. Reach out to us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Spelltap Gaming, and drop us a comment on your YouTube videos. Let's dive in. What's up, Chris?
Nothing much, man. Just another day.
Dude, what have you been playing lately?
Lately, man, I've been playing a lot of Mad Max.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, man, it's one of my favorite games. I have to play it at least once a year. It's one of the most perfect games out there. There was no need for any DLC for it because it was that good. There's just so much to do, and it's so fun.
What about that game is fun? Like I've heard it's gotten pretty decent reviews and stuff.
It's heavily underrated. There's the reason why is because it came out at the exact same time Metal Gear Solid 5 came out. But there's just so much progression. Like you're playing as Max, of course, but you start out, you lose everything. The warlord of the land, Scabrous Scrotus, he's basically he takes all your stuff and leaves you for dead. And then you meet this hunchback and he offers to build you a new car. And in order to build this car, you have to you go to all these different locations, you cut deals with people in order to get the things you need. And there's a huge progression with the car. There's a huge progression with Max. The fighting's good. It's the same system as the Batman Arkham games.
Okay.
But it's really heavy hitting, and it feels really good.
Nice, man. I've been addicted to this game called Honkai Star Rail. I'm not really into gacha games, but this gacha game got me. It got me, dude. Oh yeah, it got me. 5 stars.
Okay.
It's made by the same people who made Genshin Impact, but Genshin Impact is more kind of like a Zelda like.
Yeah.
And this to me is more of a Persona like, because it's turn-based, and you can there's the combat is super addicting and fun, and the characters are super cool. Genshin Impact has really cool character design. So this is kind of Hoyo verse, the developers who made the game, their most polished game, I think by far so far. It's pretty fun.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of wasted time on that. not wasted time, but a lot of
time well spent.
Yeah. It's just sucking away all my time. And then also Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom has got a hold of me too. So if I'm not on my Switch, I'm on my computer or playing on my mobile. Our main story for today is Overwatch 2 dropping their PvE content, or canceling their PvE content, and it's something that they've spoke about for a long time, since even before the game launched. It was going to be a feature that was going to be part of the core part of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's Blizzard. What do are you surprised?
No, not surprised.
When
I found out they were launching without it, I was like, this isn't good. Did you play the first Overwatch?
I played a little bit, but I wasn't too big of a fan. You know, I was a big fan of the original Dota back in the day, but those games, man, I'm at crossroads with them. They just, to me, they get a little repetitive.
Right. I think honestly, in my opinion, there's just I played Overwatch 1 for a little while. It was cool, but like I don't know, I just got tired of it. I guess the content just wasn't there. I'm not huge into like the hero shooter type game style. It's cool. Like I like it. Sometimes it's a nice breath of it's a nice breath of fresh air, because instead of just like arena style shooters, you know, like you have a team, you have an objective,
Right.
and you use your abilities to combo with other abilities of your teammates in order to accomplish that goal, which is cool. And I love that about Overwatch, and it provides something that there's just not a whole lot of games that do it well. And that does it well, and the production value of like the characters are like really cool. I love all like the designs and everything and stuff like that. So but yeah, so Overwatch 2 came out, and it was essentially Overwatch 1 reskinned.
Yep.
Which is fine, you know. Like I kind of felt like, because they went down to a 5v5 instead of 6v6, because they said it was like too chaotic, but I don't think it made that much of a difference at all.
So basically what's happened is Blizzard fucked everybody over and took their money.
Well, it is a free-to-play game.
Yeah,
But-
okay, well,
Yeah, it's a
at
free-to-play game.
at the same time, you're getting people hyped up for a game, and then you're taking away what a lot of people wanted.
Mhm.
They did that with Diablo 2, man. It was supposed to be a full reskinned game with everything left, and then right before the game comes out, they removed TCP/IP, which was being able to play offline and like connect your, you know, have LAN parties and stuff. And the reason why they did that is because they don't want people modding their game. That's literally the sole reason. They're like, oh, it's for security reasons. It's like, no, you just don't want people modding it.
Right. I mean, it's like, why? Okay, so they said that they're gonna add, they're gonna have story missions, which is, we'll have some like PvE elements to it, but kind of similar to what they did. They actually had like a PvE mode that was like a Halloween theme, and it was super fun. Like you basically picked a class. You know, each character had a class, and then they had like a specific purpose, and it was almost like a dungeon crawler. You know,
Yeah.
like everyone had an ability they were going to use. It was fun. I think there's a lot of things they can do. I don't even know what the PvE mode would have looked like, but if it was anything close to what their Halloween event was like, I would have been down for it. Even if the story missions are what that Halloween event was going to be, I look forward to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I do get tired of the PvE modes, because I feel like there's just, I don't know if this is true or not, but I feel like every map is like the same. Like there's nothing. Like,
They all definitely have a lot of
special about maps.
similarities,
Yeah.
I would say, you know. And then that if they're all very similar, that cuts down on replayability, you know. But there are those people out there, you know, Overwatch is their game. They're always playing it.
Yeah. It's like it can be like hyper competitive for sure.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm in the mood for that, but yeah, sometimes I'm in the mood for, you know, just to play PvE and like somehow like, I don't know, rank up that way, get my battle pass experience points that way, you know.
Right.
Sometimes I'm in the mood for that. But I mean, it's a bummer anytime like a developer promises something and then has to cancel.
Blizzard's habitual with that too, man. They do it all the time. I mean, that's why I'm like at a loss. You know, it's really hard because I like a lot of their games, but I don't like them because they're such a huge company. They can just do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you know, you should listen to your community once in a while and don't make promises if you're not going to deliver.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the Avid Touch Yeah, it's a bummer. So if you had hopes for PvE and Overwatch 2, sorry. They did. They said that they outlined their content for the next like 4 or 5 seasons,
Okay.
and you know it's all right. You know what I mean? I feel like it's hard to finish those battle passes. I did it. I got close, and then a new season started, and then I was pissed.
Yeah, I do like those battle passes. Those are fun, man. Gives you like the daily challenges and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I for one love live service games. You know,
Yeah.
for me, it's like you buy the game and then you're gonna play that game for a long period of time, and then since you're playing that game, you might as well pay for the season pass or whatever, so you get some kind of like progression. You know, a better progression. They do have like free stuff that you can earn on like the free pass. But I mean, if you're gonna play the game a lot, and if you like the game, like why not?
Yeah, why not get the cosmetics and the
Yeah.
the extra coin or whatever?
Yeah, I definitely. And the premium stuff in Destiny 2 is expensive, dude.
Oh yeah.
and like, I think Destiny 2, maybe like Call of Duty, but I don't really buy premium stuff unless it's like something really cool.
Yeah.
Man, Fortnite. If I played that game a lot, I would probably buy a lot of skins from there. But
I only play no build mode. I don't play the build mode.
no, I don't play the build mode. But
Yeah.
what sucks is that like sometimes I like to play the arena mode, the Team Rumble mode,
Yeah,
and that's build only.
I know.
It's a
It's a
bummer,
shame.
dude. Yes,
Because no build makes it so much more competitive, I feel.
I feel like the no build mode, it's only in like battle royale mode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer, dude. Because I'm not a huge fan of battle royales, so
I know they're so overdone.
yeah.
They really are.
Yeah, I'm just like, I feel like I never win, and then it's like I'm just trying to win and like not really getting anywhere, you know?
Yeah. I mean, they're good. They're good if you want to just jump in and play a quick like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You jump into a round and get off. But I mean, I don't ever do a battle royale more than like 2 to 3 times whenever I jump in.
Yeah, sometimes I have a good time. You know, sometimes I feel like doing the whole battle royale thing, like
Yeah, get a couple kills, feel good about yourself.
yeah. You know,
Snatch some dude's backside.
Exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm like the low stress gamer. I don't like to like be stressed out all the time when I'm like playing games. So,
Being on edge.
yeah, sometimes I like that, but
Literally, dude, I've had those days too where I kind of feel like it's a little important, so my nervous system is just like fight or flight mode, and I'm like really in it.
yeah,
It's hard because
especially when you're
I'll
like
hold my
get to the
breath.
end. Especially it's like you're like close to the end, so you're about to win. You're like heart starts fucking beating fast and shit.
I know. For no reason, like.
Yeah, exactly, for no reason. Like,
Yeah.
because you know the other person is like sweating too, like,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and they get
I wish you could
sweaty.
hear what everybody's saying though too. I miss like the old like the Modern Warfare 2 days whenever like the round would be over, it would go to the player menu and everyone could talk to each other. So everyone's just like talking shit or like,
I mean, I think they still do that.
it depends. Certain games don't do it anymore.
Okay, cool, man. Well, all right. So since Overwatch 2 is not getting any PvE, I guess we're gonna be playing more of Tears of the Kingdom, or at least I will. So a previous episode, we were kind of mid on Zelda, and it was because for me, the puzzles were not enough, and the combat was like not engaging for me at all.
Yeah.
And also the open-ended quest format was kind of like, it was just like a lot of fucking riding your horse, far places, like hoping that like nothing's gonna kill you, you know.
Yeah.
And then like the puzzles were all right. It was just like, oh, it's like all right. I have to use my I have to use the mechanics to like move something, some platform, you know. And it was whatever. It was kind of cool.
I'm still mid about Zelda, by the way.
Yeah. Well, like, what are your reasons for being mid on Zelda?
To be fair, it's just not my thing. I've never liked it. I played Link to the Past. That was a fun game. I played Ocarina of Time. That's before like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. That was everybody's favorite. I hated that game. It was boring. The music slapped. The music had a great soundtrack, but it just left such a bad taste in my mouth that I swore off every Zelda from there on out.
Oh, wait, which Zelda was that?
Ocarina of Time, Nintendo
Ocarina
64.
of Time. Oh, the one that people liked.
Yeah, that one that's like everybody's favorite. I hated it. Absolutely hated it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you remember anything? Do you remember why it was like so?
I didn't like the targeting system. I didn't like having to travel so much. I didn't like I mean, and this is the N64 pre right analog stick where you couldn't rotate the camera. You had to rotate it with the, you had this like forced perspective, and then if you were lucky enough to get a game that required you to rotate the camera, you use the C buttons.
Yeah, man. Such a weird ass controller.
I love that controller, man.
Yeah.
I love it, but it's just for the time when it came to playing something like Zelda, it was a challenge. You make all these mistakes because the camera is like not right, or I hated it.
Yeah. I was like really bad at the combat in the Zelda games, I think. But the other day I read an article and it kind of changed my perspective on Zelda a little bit, to where it basically said that Zelda or Link is not a warrior. He's like a problem solver, and he uses ingenuity to solve practical problems. And
That's fair statement.
I'm like, okay, it's not an action. It's not a role playing game. It's not an action role playing game. It's like, it's a puzzle game with light combat in it.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, coming from that perspective, I'm like, that does sound a lot more appealing than like what I wanted it to be was like this action RPG game that just wasn't.
Yeah.
So playing it from that perspective, I'm like, okay, for what that is, like, it's a pretty good game. But I'm not into puzzle games,
Me neither.
So when Tears of the Kingdom 2 was announced, I was mid on it too, because I was like, all right, just another Zelda Breath of the Wild game. There's like, what can they do to make the game fresh and exciting that's gonna like make someone like me who actually want to play.
Yeah.
And I was just seeing so much hype that I had to like see for myself like what it was, and I was extremely skeptical, right? But as soon as I unlocked the Ultra Hands in the game and they started sticking things together to like get through obstacles, I was addicted. I was like, how, like, I feel like I can do anything.
So
right now.
So you heard so much about it that you just went out and bought it? No demo whatsoever? Damn.
Yep.
You got lucky, dude. I've done that before, man, and have just been totally disappointed.
Yeah, me too. Like, I was scared. I mean, that's how I felt about Elden Ring.
Yeah, no, that's what I was about to say. That's why Elden Ring is on the shelf collecting dust.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
hate that game, dude.
Dude, I feel like I'm gonna give it someday. I'm gonna give it another shot, and I'm gonna try to beat that game just because I just need to finish that game. As someone who like really wants to like appreciate games, especially even games that I'm not like super into. Like I want to like appreciate games that other people are critically acclaimed games. I want to appreciate that.
Yeah, it's really hard for casual players like us to get into something like that because there is a lot of frustration that comes with those Dark Soul games.
Oh yeah,
It's dying.
Yeah, I mean, it's so frustrating when half the time you're trying to play Elden Ring, you're actually watching a YouTube video on how to do something.
Yeah. It's like every 5 minutes you're just having to look up some new information because you're stuck.
Yeah, that to me is not fun. Like I want to play the game.
Yeah, give me a beer and some Mario Kart and I'm good. I'm seriously still having such a hard time like going to try it out. Everybody's been raving about how good it really is, and I'm just like, I'm not a Zelda guy.
That's what I've been saying. That's exactly what I've been saying.
But now you're like the Zelda ultimate fan.
I don't even really care about like. See, this is one thing. Like I love like what draws me to games is like the story and stuff like that.
Right.
The story so far is pretty fun, but like I'm not gonna hate it on it from the story standpoint. But just the gameplay is just the satisfaction of like figuring out, not knowing if this is like the way to solve a puzzle, and then just getting through it, like the simplest way possible, like stick a bunch of logs together to get over a bridge and instead of like using...
and that's like a great thing because I feel as though gameplay when it comes to video games, gameplay is always more important than story. Story is a very important factor, but any day of the week I will take a game that has amazing gameplay with a crappy story as opposed to a great story with crappy gameplay.
Right. I mean, like it's just one of those games you can just spend. It makes your curiosity is like, I feel like the thing that's like driving you to like play the game because
so you get lost in it.
Yeah, because like, what can I like if I stick this stick to this rock, right? What's it gonna do? What's it gonna do if I put this? There's like a fruit that like when you touch it, it like explodes. You stick that on a stick. You stick that stick to a stick, and you fucking launch that somewhere. Like, what's it gonna do? And there's so many. It's just so many ways for you to get that feeling of like satisfaction.
Get a little creative.
Yeah, and just like by using like your own like imagination is I had such low expectations for Tears of the Kingdom that I didn't think I was gonna really enjoy this game, but I jumped in blind because I just heard so much hype about it,
and now you're hooked.
And when I found out about what the mechanics were, I'm like, that's very interesting. I did not think that was the direction they were gonna go with, because now the puzzles, I don't need to like sit here and try to figure out this like
they're not one dimensional.
Yeah,
there's multiple ways over it.
Right. So now I feel like I'm progressing at a good pace.
Yeah.
Which in the previous Breath of the Wild game, I was like, I am stuck.
That's actually quite clever.
So annoying. Yeah, and it was just like, because there was like one way to like solve a problem usually.
That's how most puzzle games are. There's usually just one way, and they just get harder as you go along to figure out that one way. But you have all these puzzles where you can kind of use your critical thinking skills to get over it. Now that's kind of a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't get the satisfaction of completing a puzzle. I'm just like, oh, okay, great. I got past that shit.
It's the quickest way over it.
Yeah, it was the quickest way over it. And it's like, oh, don't overthink it in Tears of the Kingdom. Just stick a bunch of logs together and cross that bridge, or stick this fan on a plank and let it lift you up and then fly over whatever obstacles you need. I'm just like, That's fucking great. That's so fun. That's addicting. Like, getting that satisfaction, like that feeling.
Just don't forget your recipes, because
Yeah.
you may need them again.
Yeah. Well, now, I mean, I don't know if this was like a case in the older games, but when you do make a new recipe, it saves it, and you just when you have the ingredients,
cool.
it automatically
That's very
like,
cool.
oh, like you have this ingredient. Is this the recipe you want to use?
Well, I know. I mean, the older Zeldas were definitely a lot more linear. Linear in a fashion of, go from point A to point B to do something, and you couldn't progress until you did that. I mean, it's not for like Link of the Past. You have the full map you can explore, but you have some barriers where you can't really go there until you've acquired a specific item, which then again, you do have to complete those specific tasks to get the item.
Right.
But having an open world where you can actually just build anything like that does kind of seem a little enticing.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a play now it's because before you had to like go to these shrines and do the puzzles to get more powers and stuff like that, but now you can just be out in the open world and just mess around with like whatever you can find, and that is, you can literally spend hours doing that. It's like, what can I make? And people are making giant robots with flaming cocks. It's ridiculous. Like they're
That's all I would do. I would just make a bunch of dick items.
They're like torturing some characters and shit and putting them in cages or putting them over fire and like or launching, like putting like rocket boosters on them and like launching them into fucking space and shit. It's fucking
now that's where it's at right there, man. It's
God.
It's like when you play, Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead Redemption, you'll run over like 80 people or something, or
it is like
punch a feminist in the face. Like,
whoa.
No, I'm talking about that video.
Oh, wait,
you remember that video? There's a Red Dead Redemption video that it got a lot of like flack too. There was a woman in the game talking about like women's rights, and the guy runs up and just punches her in the face.
Oh yeah, the women's suffrage lady in Red Dead Redemption.
Whack.
And
people got all pissed about it.
Well, I wouldn't do that in public.
No, dude, of course not. But in a game, it's like, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, if you have a sense of humor, you should just get over it. Yeah.
Like,
But yeah, dude, I'm having fun with it. I'm like, it's taking me a while, so I haven't got into like a lot of the story bits yet because I'm just having fun experimenting with stuff,
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, as a whole, I'm still mid on Zelda. I think as a franchise, but this one particular game is fun. And I think that I'm having fun for the first time playing a Zelda game, and that's special. I mean, if you can bring me around,
that means a lot.
Yeah, if you can bring me around, like if I'm not into it, if I'm not into a franchise, but you come out with something that like is like new and fun, then that's pretty incredible, I think. So yeah, man, I think that we're gonna see a lot more Zelda content. It is everywhere right now.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of buddies that's all that's on their feeds right now.
Yeah, like on my YouTube feed, it's just nothing but it's nothing but Zelda content. So
nice.
Okay, and just like that, we've reached the end of episode 4. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the latest gaming news and our impressions of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And a big thank you to Christopher J. Gannon for sharing his insights with us today. As always, we're eager to hear from you. What did you think about today's episode? What topics did you like us to tackle next? Let us know on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at SpellTap Gaming. And drop a comment on our YouTube videos. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider leaving us a review or rating on our podcast platform of choice. It helps us to reach more gamers like you. And once again, I'm your host, Ryan Goto, and has been another exciting episode of Spell Tap Gaming Podcast. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.
See ya.